Ask Lori, a show designed to give a better perspective on relationships no matter what the circumstance may be. You can start, have, and keep unstoppable relationships. Lori Ann Davis can tell you how. Have questions? Need answers? Ask Lori.
Thank you for tuning in to the only station giving you double the information and inspiration, WDRB Media and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte. This is Ask Lori, and I'm your host, Lori Ann Davis. Don't let love and passion get lost in your life. As your relationship specialist, I'm here to share secrets with you every week, helping you create unstoppable relationships. I want to welcome you to this week's show. I'm so pleased that you have joined us today. I'm here to help you find, renew, and keep love and passion in your relationships. I bring you the benefits of 28 years experience working with clients as well as my own personal journey towards creating the relationship of your dreams. I'm here to help you with yours. Do you have relationship questions? I want to hear them. Please email them to me through my website at lori@lorianndavis.com. That's LORIANN Davis.com. Then be sure to listen in every week. You can also listen to my Ask Lori segment on the Profit and Growth Hour every Tuesday at 5 p.m., where Dr. Business and I will be answering more of your relationship questions. Today, we are going to be discussing healthy communication. But first, let's thank our sponsor, Ladyhood. Dare to be dainty. Being female is a matter of birth. Being a woman is a matter of age. Being a lady is a matter of choice. Register today for a 4-week course beginning in January for young ladies between the age of 9 and 18. Seats are limited, so register today at ladyhood.com. That's LADIHOOD.com, and dare to be dainty. Today, we're discussing healthy communication. Communication is essential to any unstoppable relationship, but it's not always that easy to accomplish. It takes hard work and the willingness to set your ego aside and put your relationship first. This is especially difficult to do when we're upset or we're feeling like we're not being heard by our partner. We have to learn how to communicate in order to get our message heard, to resolve conflicts, and to feel connected to our partner. The conversation itself is important, but so is laying the groundwork on a day-to-day basis to build a solid foundation. We're going to talk today about how to really listen to your partner and how to say what we mean in order to be heard. We'll also be discussing some ways to have a better communication outcome when you communicate to solve problems together. So stay tuned, because my guest today is Anthony DeNino, and together we will be discussing healthy communication. You don't want to miss this. You're listening to Ask Lori, and I'm your host, Lori Ann Davis. You're tuned in to WDRB Media and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte.
If you're struggling to find happiness in your relationship, if you would like to attract and keep your ideal partner, if you need extra support and guidance through a challenging situation, contact relationship specialist Lori Ann Davis at 704-999-1781. Her services include relationship counseling, marriage counseling, divorce assistance, life transition, stress management, grief counseling, and workshops for couples and singles. Be sure to tune in to Lori every Tuesday at 10 a.m. during the Profit and Growth Hour on WGIV 103.3 FM. Call Lori at 704-999-1781 to schedule your free 20-minute consultation and receive 20% off 4 sessions. Be sure to visit www.lorianndavis.com.
If you or a loved one are unable to venture easily from your home due to injury, illness, or disability, Compassion Salon Services can provide you with a rejuvenating hair salon service in the privacy and comfort of your own home. please call 704-774-2204 for more information, or visit us on the web at compassionsalon.com. Compassion Salon Services for immobilized persons. We believe the enrichment of life lies through compassion for the soul. So call us at 704-774-2204. That's 704-774-2204 for your in-home salon services. Zippy Shell Mobile Self-Storage is the most convenient and affordable short and long-term storage solution in the Charlotte and surrounding areas. Call 704-323-4056. We are convenient. We deliver the storage containers to your door. You load it at your convenience. We pick it up and store it for you and return it when you are ready. Our facility is alarmed and climate controlled. Save time, save money, save everything with Zippy Shell. Call us at 704-323-4056. That's 704-323-4056. We are part of Premier Barter Exchange and are a family-owned and operated company.
Able offers unique and creative custom designs on any surface area at an affordable price. Able prides himself on providing masterful, high-quality artwork that is dedicated to the production of aesthetically pleasing and thought-provoking visual design. Call 704-449-1548 or email artbyable@gmail.com for all of your painting and airbrushing needs. Like us on Facebook too at www.facebook.com/artbyable.
Welcome back to WDRB Media and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte, and those streaming live through the free TuneIn radio app. You're listening to Ask Lori, and I'm your host, Lori Ann Davis. If you're just tuning in, we're discussing healthy communication. But first, I know that you've been listening to my show, and I really appreciate it. The show couldn't exist without you. I want you to be able to delve deeper and learn more. So I've partnered with the amazing Glenn Proctor, award-winning journalist, life coach, and trainer, to bring you a 3-hour workshop on this Saturday, January 17th. We will be discussing mindset, ways to create, nurture, and maintain unstoppable relationships full of love and passion. I'll be sharing my secrets with you. Find out all the details on my website under events. That's LoriAnnDavis.com, LORIANN Davis.com, and register today to save your seat and get your bonuses. We only have a few seats left, so register today. Joining us in the studio today is Anthony DeNino. He is the host of Core Radio on WGIV. His show is on Thursdays at 2 p.m., so you're going to want to listen to all the great information he has for you. But today, Anthony is joining me, and we are going to discuss healthy communication. Thanks for joining me today, Anthony.
It is my pleasure to be on your show, Lori. Thanks for having me.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about communication. Communication in relationships has got to be one of the most important aspects. If you can't communicate, you can't have a good relationship, right?
Oh, I totally agree. Actually, I would even say it's the most important aspect, at least as it relates to myself and my marriage.
So we're going to get personal today, and we are going to share with you about our relationships and our communication while we try to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that are so important about relationships. But I thought that, we would share because we are both in relationships and
Sure.
we have to communicate. So, we'll give you a little bit of our input. I think one of the most important things in communication is really listening and giving your partner your full attention. And a lot of times we don't do that.
No, and I have to admit, I'm often guilty sometimes of looking dead into my wonderful wife's eyes, and my mind is about 100 miles away. So it's a struggle. Not that she's not extremely interesting person, but you get focused on different things, and sometimes as important as you realize it is to be fully attentive, I'm not always there.
Right. I think all of us have a tendency sometimes to be thinking of something else when our partner is talking. And so, if what you need to communicate with is something that's essential and it's really important, I like to suggest that we ask our partner, is this an okay time to talk?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. Because we are all so busy, not only in our minds, but our day-to-day actions, and our attention isn't always focused where it should be. So, especially if it's an important issue or a topic that you want to discuss, I think it's important to make sure that you'll have your spouse's full attention to make sure that the conversation goes as you're planning it to.
So you actually can be heard.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's something inherently that we all want to be.
When I was writing the book about relationships that is at the publisher as we speak, I was interviewing people about what makes their relationship work. And one of the people that I interviewed said that in this second marriage, one of the things she has that she didn't have the first time was she never felt heard in her first marriage. And in this marriage, she feels heard. So I think in order to feel close and connected to our partner, we need to know that they hear us and that we're important enough that they'll listen to us.
Yeah, it's just a validation of who you are that I think people really rely on, especially with those who are closest to them. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So you're a guy.
I am.
So
Thank you for noticing.
So one of the things we're going to talk about in communication is you want to say what you mean. You want to get to the point. Women have a tendency sometimes to want to beat around the bush and hope that you get it.
Really? Okay, I never noticed that.
Yeah. And my experiences, guys aren't so good at reading our minds a lot of times, right?
That is, wow. So much trouble I could get in right now. However, I would say from time to time that is exactly true, yes.
I know with my communication, if I'm frustrated sometimes and I look back at it, I realize it's because I wasn't clear enough, that I really was sort of hoping that Dave would understand and that I wasn't communicating clear enough about what I really needed to say.
Right. Yeah, and I know for me personally, in my mind, it sounds just crystal clear, and I know exactly what I mean. So, of course, my wife, she has to, of course, understand what I mean.
Right.
And honestly, if you look at it from an outsider's perspective, I could see myself looking at what I just said or hearing what I just said and realizing, oh my God, I have no idea what just happened right there. It's just, it's just amazing because, like I said, up in your brain, it sounds great. It sounds clear.
Right.
But in reality, or in my wife's reality, it's like, what in the world is he talking about?
And you just brought up a really good point. In her reality and in your reality, our realities are not always the same. We grew up different. We have different past. We have different families of origin. We have different ideas about relationships. So many different ideas that we have that can be different. So we can interpret things different. We do have to make sure our partner has heard us.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I like to think that I'm growing with as I mature, not age, just mature. I come to realize that even though I feel very comfortable and confident as far as what I'm saying, it just becomes so important to make sure there's that validation. And a lot of times what I'll come to do is say something along the lines of, let me just make sure I understood you correctly, or let me make sure I heard what you said.
Excellent.
Before I go ahead and say, what? Yeah, what are you talking about? And
Right. Before you answer back, making sure that you're clear about what the message was.
Right, because in each of our experiences, there's that, different history to fall back on. And sometimes it's not always the same, so you always need to check and make sure you're understanding before you jump to that conclusion.
And I think the older we get, the more life experiences we have had. And so some of the people listening might be like me. They might be a second time around in a relationship. So the relationship is newer, which means that Dave and I both have histories of relationships. So when somebody says something, we might mean it one way and they might take it a totally different way because of their history in their prior relationship. And I have noticed that can cause trouble with people. And even in my relationship, in the very beginning, there were a couple of instances where I said something and I saw the look on his face. And I thought, how did what I say create that look? And so I had to stop and say, okay, what happened here? And it was an interpretation of what I had said. So I had to be very clear and say, all right, here, you're going to learn something about me right now. I say what I mean. I wouldn't mean it that way. And then once we understood that about each other, that was part of the learning process. It's part of growing in relationships. Then we were clear, and then that never happened again. So if you're newer to a relationship, you do have to kind of check in with the other. Watch the person's body language. Watch the look on their face. If you say something, they have a look that you don't think should be there, stop and say, wait a minute, what's going on? What did you just think I said?
Right. And it's funny, and I give people just so much credit who have been through either marriage or a very serious relationship, then go into another one, because I know after nearly 24 years of being married, we obviously get to know each other, and some of the things that we say and do, we don't have to really think about as much.
No, you don't.
But then to go into that different relationship, there are those potential obstacles that you spoke about. So just getting back to your original point, communication is just where it's at. And I know with me, I'm a very internal person, or at least I was. My wife's brought that out of me,
Okay.
which is one of the many great things she's done. To the point where now it's like, wow, can't you go back to being quiet? It's
You're talking too much, Anthony.
yeah, exactly. But just communicate it, and I love the point about body language, and it goes back to your other point about attention and being in that moment with that person, being able to pick up on the clues, with body language or a raised eyebrow or whatever the case might be, just that blank expression that you're wondering what's going on.
And really picking the time to talk. We don't ever want to be having communication with our partner when the drama is high, when our emotions are high. Ladies, if you have not noticed, men don't like drama. They don't like us to communicate with them when we are mad, when we're over the top. So we need to, and women don't like that either. They don't like to be yelled at. They don't like, neither person does. So we need to maybe calm down a little bit so that by the time we are going into the communication, we have this mindset that we're ready to discuss, we're ready to listen, we're ready to hear, we're ready to compromise, maybe negotiate. Because let's face it, in a long-term relationship, do you always get your way?
No.
Oh, no. No, it's not a realistic expectation,
Sure.
right?
Sure. Yeah, and we've gotten to a point where having two kids, you grow up with the mentality of, sometimes you just need a break. So in a discussion that may get heated, or it's just not the right time, we'll often say to each other, you know what, I'm going to put myself in time out for a little bit, and just relax, and because that way, because you never want to say things that you really don't mean. You don't want to get caught up in that heat of the moment and find yourself saying something that later on you realize, what was I thinking? How could I say something like that?
Because you really can't take it back.
No.
Once it's out of your mouth, it's kind of there.
It's there.
You can be forgiven for what you have done, what you have
Sure.
said maybe that was hurtful, but it's still there, and we want to avoid that.
It is, and you certainly want to avoid that, because you never want to be in a situation where a similar situation comes up, and automatically that person's thought might go back to the last time that something similar happened, and then maybe there's some unresolved issues or feelings that come up again.
So then you're less likely to be heard because they're thinking about the past time, which also brings up, we don't have a lot of time left, so one final point, I think, is that the past, though, in communication needs to stay in the past. It's sort of one of those ground rules. It never does any good. I don't care if it's a pattern. It doesn't do any good to bring up the fact that it's a pattern. And, last time you did or before you have. It just really doesn't. It's going to put the other person on defensive. They're not going to hear you. They're not going to be willing to compromise at that point. So as much as maybe sometimes we're tempted to do that, we want to restrain ourselves, and we want to just focus on the issue right now and resolve it. Because if you can resolve it this time, it doesn't mean that you couldn't in the past. If you can resolve it today, then you've resolved it. Right?
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, and then it's all about going forward. And, I mean, really in any kind of discussion or conversation, especially if there's an issue, as best you can, you want to resolve that issue then and there. and then go forward. So you're not looking back and remembering the next time you fight, or kind of keeping it in the back of your mind. Okay, I got her when she says this one, or he says that next time. You definitely, it's very tempting. I think a lot of us do it. But, it just comes down to making sure that we don't bring up the past, especially in a negative light.
The statement, I think, to that kind of is, do you want to be right all the time? Do you want to always get your way? Or do you want a really good relationship? And
Sure.
you do have to make that choice. If you want to be right all the time, live with a dog or a cat, and then you might be right all the time. But if you're going to live with another person, there's going to have to be give and take and compromise.
Yeah, the compromise is the key. Yeah, we've come to learn, my wife Diane and I, that and having kids in a way helped us realize this, that you kind of pick and choose your battles.
Yes.
And realize that even though your initial instinct might be to be upset about something, it's if you catch yourself and just take that moment, quick little moment, and say, okay, really, that's really not that important. So you let it go, maybe have a discussion about it, but I think it's so key.
Great. Thank you so much for coming in today, Anthony, and talking with me about communication. It's always more fun to talk about communication with somebody else you can communicate with. Remember, Anthony has a radio show called Core Radio on WGIV that airs every Thursday at 2 p.m. So you're going to want to tune in and listen to him.
Please do.
And thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure, as always, is mine.
Thanks. And after the break, we will continue our discussion on healthy communication. You're listening to Ask Lori, and I'm your host, Lori Ann Davis. You're tuned in to WDRB Media and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte.
How many times have you told yourself, I'll start next week, I'll start next month, I'll start next year? Improve your life one rep at a time. Now is the time to jumpstart your exercise and nutritional program you've always wanted to achieve. Exercise Times is here to help motivate, educate, and hold you accountable. Join our Exercise Times Jumpstart Bootcamp if you're interested in weight loss, toning, firming, and enhancing your performance. Exercise Times will give you the tools necessary to achieve the results that you have been looking for. For more information, call 704-701-2914. That's 704-701-2914. Improve your life one rep at a time.
Attention Charlotte and surrounding areas. Do you have an interest in radio or TV? Are you looking to build a career in media? If so, we are looking to fill open positions we currently have available. Qualifications include general knowledge of radio and TV, great attitude, a willingness to learn. You must have a high school diploma. There's little to no experience is necessary. This is a part-time position with full-time plus pay. To apply, you must call 877-342-7770. Again, that's 877-342-7770. We are looking to fill these positions as soon as possible. Are you ready for lights, camera, action? Let's find out. 877-342-7770.
Hey family, it's time to go get your blessing. This is Dr. Business, host of the Profit and Growth Hour and author of the anticipated newly released book entitled Birthing the Greatness Within. I'm sharing with you the keys to unlocking the greatness inside of you and how to birth it out so that your purpose can come to pass. For more information, go to www.drbusiness.com. That's DRBIZNESS.com. If you'd like to know more about me, here's what others are saying.
I know and I trust that with Dr. Biz and them, that my business is going to grow. Profit and growth is exactly what Salon Encore needs to take me to the next level.
My name is Mike Jones. I'm from Legacy Limousine as well. And I just want to say with Dr. Business, you ever heard the saying that God puts you where you need to be? Well, that's where we need to be with Dr. Business.
So go get your blessing by visiting www.drbusiness.com and order your copy today.
Zippy Shell Mobile Self-Storage is the most convenient and affordable short and long-term storage solution in the Charlotte and surrounding areas. Call 704-323-4056. We are convenient. We deliver the storage containers to your door. You load it at your convenience. We pick it up and store it for you and return it when you are ready. Our facility is alarmed and climate controlled. Save time, save money, save everything with Zippy Shell. Call us at 704-323-4056. That's 704-323-4056. We are part of Premier Barter Exchange and are a family-owned and operated company. If you or a loved one are unable to venture easily from your home due to injury, illness, or disability, Compassion Salon Services can provide you with a rejuvenating hair salon service in the privacy and comfort of your own home. Please call 704-774-2204 for more information or visit us on the web at compassionsalon.com. Compassion Salon Services for immobilized persons. We believe the enrichment of life lies through compassion for the soul. So call us at 704-774-2204. That's 704-774-2204 for your in-home salon services. Welcome back to WDRB Media and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte, and those streaming live through the free TuneIn radio app. You're listening to Ask Lori, and I'm your host, Lori Ann Davis. If you're just tuning in, we've been discussing healthy communication. And if you're struggling to find happiness in your relationship, or you'd like to attract and keep that ideal partner, I'm always here to help you. For more information, check out my website, lorianndavis.com. That's LORIANN Davis.com, where you can read my blogs, find out what events I have coming up, follow me on social media, or join my successful singles group if you're single. I'm here to help you create the relationship you have always wanted and deserve. Don't forget to write in with all your relationship questions. We have been discussing today healthy communication. Creating and maintaining unstoppable communication is essential for a healthy relationship. We've talked about the importance of really listening to our partner by giving them our full attention. We talked about the importance of picking the right time to talk so you can do so without the emotions attached, so that you can be heard by your partner instead of them feeling defensive. How you word things will make a big difference in the outcome. The goal is to resolve conflicts after all. We also discussed having the right mindset so you're prepared to negotiate and compromise when needed. It's not always about being right, but about working together as a team. Now let's talk a little about setting the foundation for good communication. This happens every day by being proactive in your relationship. Make sure to share quality time together, preferably on a daily basis. Build the bond you have with one another by sharing on a regular basis. Make sure to include time for fun, for laughter, for intimacy. This will help you build that strong foundation. It's not just about communicating when there's a problem. You also want to communicate to feel closer to each other. If you would like to learn more, remember we have a workshop coming up on January 17th, and we would love to see you there. You can find out all the details on my website. You can also write in and let me know what questions you have. My website is lorianndavis.com. That's LORIANNDAVIS.com. And join us next week when we reveal more secrets to finding, keeping, and renewing love and passion in your life, not only for the weekend, but every day. We want to thank today's guest, Anthony DeNino, for joining us. And thank you, family, for tuning in, and continue to tune in every Thursday night at 8:30. Please remember to connect with me on my website, lorianndavis.com, and also listen to my Ask Lori segment on the Profit and Growth Hour every Tuesday at 5 p.m., where Dr. Business and I will be answering all of your relationship questions. I am Lori Ann Davis, and you've been listening to Ask Lori on WDRB Media and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte. Have a great weekend.
Ask Lori, a show designed to give a better perspective on relationships no matter what the circumstance may be. You can start, have, and keep unstoppable relationships. Lori Ann Davis can tell you how. Have questions? Need answers? Ask Lori.